Hey, how's it going? My name's Josh from ptstartupsecrets.com, and in today's video I want to talk about NLP and state control. Now this might be a completely new concept to you, so I'll quickly break it down. So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and it's almost like a kind of hypnosis and just a way to control your mood and to control your state by either your words or your actions. Now, a good example for this is there was a famous, you might have heard it, a famous study done years ago called Pavlov's dogs. And basically how it worked was they would get a dog and they would give it food, and whenever the dog ate the food, they'd ring a bell. And they kept doing this, to the point where the dog would associate hearing the bell, obviously, with getting the food. And the dog created such an association with hearing this bell that even when the food wasn't there, the dog would start salivating and getting ready to eat. So no food, just ring the bell. And as humans, we can do a very similar thing to get ourselves into a state. Obviously, with that dog's example, that was getting ready to eat, but it could be applied to anything. So even happiness, determination, anger. Generally, you would associate this with desirable things, not negative things. But sometimes these patterns happen without you even realizing it. And that's what I noticed myself. So the way I recently made the connection with personal training and sales was listening to the Wolf of Wall Street, Way of the Wolf, his audiobook or his book by Jordan Belfort. And he would talk about creating an anchor, so creating essentially a bell for himself to get him ready to go on stage or get into any kind of high pressured situation where he needs to perform. And it was funny that his thing is that he gets something smelly, a smell that he shoots up his nose, one on each side. And if you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, then I'm sure you know the connotations and why that is so powerful for him. Because I'm sure he would have been putting stuff up his nose before a big sale or a big sales pitch or presentation. So in his head, that's what gets him going. And sometimes you need that. For example, if you're about to teach a class, what gets you pumped? If you're about to sit in front of someone for a sale, more importantly, how do you get yourself in energy to give your best for that presentation or for that assessment? And even the small things like meeting someone or approaching someone on the gym floor on a treadmill. Like, how do you get yourself confident in a state of extreme unshakable certainty that they need your help right now? Now, without realizing, I actually have one of these anchors that I do when I'm on the gym floor. So if I see someone, let's say I see a Mrs. Jones or a Joanne on the treadmill and she's struggling to even get it to work. She looks nervous. I've never seen her before in my gym. What I would do is I'd rub my hands together. This is my thing. And I would do that without even realizing. Because I used to do this back in my single days, when I would be in a club, in a bar, and trying to meet partners, meet women. So I would do this hand rub and then go. And subconsciously, it would always get me ready to go. It's so small, but it gets me in my mental state that I need to be. And likewise, if I have a sales presentation, it's like, it's time, let's go. It's almost like hyping yourself up. It's almost like if you're doing a big lift. Do you know how some people have a ritual for a big lift, and they might shout, they might pace this way for a big deadlift. If they're doing a squat, they might shake the bar, they might put some chalk in their hands and clap their hands. Similar thing. Or if you watch sports, so let's say say rugby, someone's taking a rugby kick and they're doing all this shaking and they're doing this and looking up and down and getting, or you see it all the time. And that's all it is. It's just creating a repeating pattern to give you more of a reliable outcome, a reliable result. And if you can get this into your psyche and get this into your personal training business. It's going to make the world of difference. And how you can set this up, just think of a time where you've done something really well. So let's say you're currently nervous about approaching people on the gym floor or on a treadmill or on an exercise bike. Picture a time where you finally had the courage to approach that person that you've been thinking about for ages, that person in school or that person when you was in university or at work, and you really fancied them and you got the balls or you built up the courage to speak to them. And you need to think back, was there anything you did? Was there any music you was listening to? Was there any action that got you ready for that moment? And if you have got that, then you want to incorporate that right now. And sometimes memory is good, or if you can associate maybe a sound or music you were listening to at the time. So for example, whenever I have times of triumph, there's always a couple tunes on my Spotify or my iTunes that I go back to. And if anyone else was to hear the tune, they might be like, oh, that's a decent tune. But for me, it means so much more. It means all my dreams and goals and all my failures and everything I want in one song. And it's just crazy. And I'm sure you might have songs like that. You might have a song from a time that made you feel really down when times were bad, or listen to a song where you were just determined. And having those songs on your playlist when times are bad or times are rough, and you can listen to them, can really change your mind state, change your mood. Because in the hustle and bustle of business, you can't afford to be in a negative mindset for long. You have to snap out of it quick, because every moment you're in a negative mindset and you're feeling frustrated or down, that's money that you're going to be leaving on the table. You're not going to capture those opportunities of speaking to people when you need to, of making a sale, saying the right thing, having that certainty. When your mindset isn't of extreme certainty, little doubts will creep in your mind, and you're going to almost transmit that to the prospect's mind who you're sitting across from, and you can't afford that. So just a little bit of a slightly different video today. This is very important. You want to control your state at all times. So I hope you have found this video useful today. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment as well. I read all of the comments. Subscribe. If you need help in jumping from being a PT that is doing hours and you want to jump to rent, or if you want to get more clients into your business, visit my website, ptstartupsecrets.com, and I will catch you on the next one.